Good evening. Welcome again to our program, Women to Women. It's very nice to have you with us tonight. I'm Carol Paz, your hostess, and I have a very special guest to introduce to you in just a few moments. You have such a beautiful name.
Oh, thank you.
It has to have some kind of background behind it. Can you share that with us?
Yes. It's a Persian name. I am Persian, and the name doesn't really have a meaning, but KHANKHANIAN, I guess Khan is king, so KHANKHANIAN is king of kings. I don't think I come from a royal family, but that's what that is. FARNAZ doesn't really have a meaning, so.
Okay, FARNAZ, when you were growing up, I'm believing that you grew up, at least the initial part of your life, in Persia or in Iran.
Yes.
Okay, and as a young girl, I know that there's extended family, I know that there's a lot of friendships, and I know that the education is really very special that one can obtain in the country. So where were your interests when you were growing up?
I loved science. And I remember my mom used to get me science magazines for me. And I wanted to be an astronaut. And she was so tickled by that. And she would just tell everybody, yes, my daughter's going to be an astronaut. So I really loved it. I liked physics, biology, anything that had anything to do with science. I wanted to learn it.
Okay, and it takes very special people who are gifted in that line of learning to really help us progress from not only decade to decade, but century to century. So you have that gift, those many gifts in you. Yeah. Did you grow up within a large family? Do you have brothers and sisters?
Absolutely. I'm the youngest of 8, and family doesn't stop there.
No.
There are cousins, and when cousins get married, when brothers and sisters get married, the whole family become part of our family. So hundreds of people would be in this family.
And you know, I think that that's surprising these days within this culture, because we used to have family reunions. We used to have, we played with our first cousins, our second cousins, and sometimes even our third. But that's, I mean, when I was living in Iran, the 5th and the 6th cousins were also a part almost of the immediate family on a weekly basis.
Absolutely.
Do you still have that part of the culture here for you?
Definitely, yes. I grew up in LA and in the Persian community, and same thing. It's a very dynamic culture. A lot of people keep adding to the family, and you just include them. They just become part of the family, and I still go back to LA, visit every other month, and it's like I never left.
So help us understand, when you came over here, you were a teenager?
I was.
Okay. Did you know English at the time?
Very little. Yeah.
So how did you go about learning, you and your siblings? How did that come about?
You go to college and you start taking courses. They just kind of, just fall into the sink or swim. So you just learn it.
But you know, that's a tough challenge. English is not necessarily an easy language to pick up, especially if it's not part of your background.
Correct.
And so when you were going to school in Iran, was English a part of your curriculum?
Yes, you learn some of that. Like, you take Spanish here.
Yes.
And so, yeah, you take English, and basic grammar and some words. But I couldn't speak it. I couldn't have a conversation, I don't think.
But when you came to this country, there were challenges there for you, one of them being the language. How did your brothers and sisters respond to the challenges? Could you share them with each other and figure out how to work through this?
It really wasn't that difficult.
Okay.
I don't think it was
for
that
you.
Difficult for me. Yeah.
Maybe for them it was.
Yeah, I think they were okay too. They were in college age, and so they went to, my brother actually, he started medical school, and my sister was in dental school, and
you have a family of scientists, of science-loving peoples.
Yes.
Are both your mother and your father very much interested in the sciences as well?
They loved it, but they didn't really do it. It wasn't done back then.
Okay.
My mom wanted to be a doctor, but you have 8 kids all of a sudden. You're not going to college.
No, you're not. You're not. Okay,
Yes.
Help us understand, where did your education in this country come from?
I went to UCLA for my undergrad.
Okay.
And I studied biochemistry. And I had a physics background also, and I just loved the optics. And so I decided to pursue that. And I thought, I could do optometry because I wanted to be in healthcare. And so I decided to do optometry so that I could do optics and work with cameras and lighting and colors. I found that very fascinating.
Perhaps you could have been an artist as well.
Well, I draw some. My brother is actually a very good artist. He can paint and he can draw, but I don't think I had the hand.
Okay, I was thinking of medical illustrator because those are so precise, exact, and it works with science beautifully.
True. I don't think I have the patience to be that precise.
So what is it about the eye, the love affair with the eye that got you?
I don't know. A
lot of people are squeamish about eyes.
Yes, I know. I just thought, first it was the optics. I just found that so fascinating, the way there's an image and all of a sudden you interpret it in the brain. It goes, first of all, it goes backwards and upside down, and how do you interpret it and put it right side up? It's amazing how human eye and brain, the whole body, it's amazing how it works.
So did you start your optometry career shortly after college, or did you do some training as an assistant someplace? What is the curriculum like if you want to become an optometrist?
So you get your bachelor's degree, and then you go to optometry school. And I went to UC Berkeley, and I took optometry for 4 years, and then you graduate, and then you have your doctorate degree. Then you take your state boards and national boards, and once you're done with that, you're done. You can practically practice.
How many years does that consume?
Total of 8 years.
Okay.
8 years.
It's a rigid course, very demanding.
Yes, it is.
Now, have you noticed as an optometrist, and we're going to come to the second half about your business here and how you came to Nevada, but what are we doing as a population that perhaps we could spend either more time not doing or at least thinking about that's harming our eyes? I know that we have talked about skin and some of the difficulties or some of the conditions that can cause severe skin problems. What about the eyes? What are problems that can really hurt us that we could probably ameliorate or make better, not have?
Ultraviolet is probably the worst thing for the eye, for the whole body, I think, for skin. You can develop cataracts sooner than you would if you're exposed, especially being up here in 5,000-foot elevation. There's a lot more ultraviolet. When you're out there skiing, even if you're not skiing, if you're just out there walking around in snow, there's a lot of ultraviolet. And so that irritates the eye. First of all, you could have corneal, basically like a burn. You could burn your cornea, which you don't want to do. And secondly,
that's if you're not wearing a protective.
Correct. Exactly.
Okay, protective
lens.
lens.
So you want to make sure you have protection. Any number of sunglasses, as long as it has UVA, UVB. It says on a lot of sunglasses it says ultraviolet protection, UVA and UVB.
Okay.
Those are two spectrums that.
And do you see a lot of that in your practice?
I see a lot of cataracts and a lot of irritated, the white part of the eye, the conjunctival area gets also irritated from that. And I don't know if you notice, some people have like a little yellow spot or a little red spot in the eye that's growing. A lot of that is from irritation. Ultraviolet and also dryness. There's a lot of dry eye. I see that a lot here a lot more than I did when I was in LA.
There's not as much humidity in the air here.
I think I read it somewhere, it was 3%. It's less than the Sahara Desert.
Okay, so if you live here in a high altitude area and you're noticing that your eyes do have a dryness, an irritability about them, what should we do?
There are a number of things you can do. First of all, you can just start putting artificial tears. Just moisten that thing. Just keep putting drops in. Keep the eyes moist. Stay out of the sun. Wear dark sunglasses and also a visor, because it's not just direct sun, but also there's also you want to create a shadow so you don't get that around the eye. And so you would keep it moist, And if that doesn't work, there are other things you can do. I do a lot of punctal plugs, is what we call them. You put a little plug in the corner of the eyelid to keep whatever moisture you have in the eye so it doesn't drain into the nose.
Can you see that plug?
No.
Okay.
I actually have it in my own eyes.
Okay.
When I moved up here, I had to get it done.
Okay. Now, this was quite a decision to come from California to an altitude that we have here in Carson City or even at Lake Tahoe.
Right.
What brought you here?
My husband. His career brought him here. He had a position available. A position was offered to him. So we thought, well, let's go check it out. We actually came here for our honeymoon 20 years ago. We went to Lake Tahoe. And I just love it up here. I love the mountains. When I grew up in Iran, the climate was very much like what we have here.
And you have the Alborz Mountains, which are beautiful.
Alborz Mountains, yes. My dad's store was called Alborz. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we were right there by the foothills. We used to go hiking, and I just love having the four seasons, which was something we really missed when I was in LA.
Yes.
I love the snow and just absolutely love this condition, this dry climate.
Well, so 20 years ago when you came here on your honeymoon, did an idea, your husband at the time presented you with the thought that this is a nice area. Maybe we could actually move here someday. That never occurred originally.
We had just graduated. He graduated from dental school, and I graduated from optometry school, and we went back to LA, got married. We were going to start our career in LA, and didn't really think about moving up here. Our 10-year anniversary, we came up here again, and we absolutely loved it. And just the thought of moving didn't occur to either one of us until this job opportunity came up for my husband. And
conditions were perhaps changing also in California.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. Yes,
we'll talk about those conditions when we come back to the second half and how lucky we are to have you here.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Come to the Carson Horseshoe Club for fun and friendly service. Play your favorite games. Join our Players Club where you get cash for points plus food comps and enjoy casual dining in our Lucky Horse Grill. Get it all in the heart of downtown Carson City at the family-owned, local favorite Carson Horseshoe Club.
Hi, I'm Stephen Lincoln with CarsonCityHomes.com, Carson City's original online real estate resource.
At CarsonCityHomes.com, you get effective and easy-to-use tools to help you select your next home today. With our easy-to-use website, you can search listings throughout Northern Nevada and narrow the results by selecting every facet, quirk, and quality you desire. Visit CarsonCityHomes.com.
Apex SCF provides cutting-edge, hands-on training that effectively addresses today's threats of violence.
The Apex Stay Alive course teaches proven methods for personal protection and attack countermeasures that can be applied in any environment. In your home, at the workplace, or on campus, Apex will teach you the necessary skills to stay alive, including how to recognize and react to an active shooter scenario.
If you knew you had to fight for your life tomorrow, would you train today? Contact us now to sign up for a class in your region.
In business for over 5 years, Play Your Own Music offers music lessons from the best quality music instructors in the area. We also offer band instrument rentals, guitar repair, and we have a recording studio on site. Call us at 885-PLAY.
Welcome back to the second half of Women to Women. It's nice to have you with us tonight. We'd like to thank Villa Basque Deli and Cafe, because it's the home of Pete's famous Bass Chorizo. They're one of our sponsors. And also Carpa Nevada LLC, importer of fine Portuguese olive oils and balsamic vinegar. And we want to remind everyone that you can now see us on carsonnow.org. We are going to be having Women to Women featured on there. So make sure you take a look at us on Facebook as well as carsonnow.org. Okay, let's go back to FARNAZ. FARNAZ, we're learning from you. You are definitely a scientific lover. You are an optometrist here in Carson City, and you came to Carson City about 10 years ago?
About 8 years.
About 8 years ago, from California, where your husband was a dentist and is a dentist, and you were practicing optometry there, as well as now here in Carson City. So I have a couple of questions as a female. Was when you were going for your professional education, okay, in optometry, because you were a female, you are a female, was there any evidence there that sometimes they made it harder on females? You are younger than I am. When I was in pre-med at Ohio State, they made it very clear that they didn't think it was worthwhile educating females because they were going to have families or they were going to be in it for a short period of time, and all of that expense and training was better put on a male. Did you run into any of that at all?
No, not at all.
So times have changed.
Definitely. In fact, I think graduating optometry school, graduating class this year was 80% women.
Wow.
Yes, from what I hear.
Why do you suppose that?
I think a lot more women are going into healthcare. Mm-hmm. And
choosing optometry,
choosing
perhaps.
optometry, yes.
I wonder why
Perhaps
that is.
Because it's cleaner, there's no blood involved.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that, because that was one of the challenges and frustrations for me as a pre-med student. And I think that women have really proven themselves to be extremely capable, very professional. The relational experience that there is between you as a doctor, as an optometrist, and the patient has proven to be one of nurturing as well. It comes out naturally in us as females, I think.
I agree.
All right, so how did you get started here in Carson City?
Well,
You picked a higher elevation, which is worse on the eyes, okay, because of the dryness.
and dry.
You didn't go down on the ocean bed, okay, or
Right.
at sea level. So you came here, you think, because of prior visits.
Actually, my husband said, you know, it snows up there. And I thought, yes, I know, let's go. let's move up there. So he came up here in February, and I still stayed in LA just to be on the safe side, just to make sure, we're going to be okay. And after a few months, I packed up and moved up here too. And I had to get a Nevada license, so that took a while. And by the time I got the Nevada license, there was a position available here in Carson City. And it's a small town, so people know, everybody knows everybody, and somebody gave me a call, and I wasn't even looking at the time yet. And so I took the position to lease space from Walmart. And I thought, well, we'll give it a shot, give it 6 months, a year. So here, 5 years later, my practice grew a lot faster than I anticipated. And
Good.
Word of mouth, patients just keep bringing their friends and relatives, and I just could not be happier. I love practicing here.
Wonderful.
And
it does have, even though it's the capital, even though it's a city, it still has a lot of small town America.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I try to figure that out, how this city has been able to maintain that hominess, that sense of neighborhood, sense of neighbor to neighbor.
Right.
And I know it's a challenge because times are changing even here in terms of friction, lawlessness, but we're not the Old West, and it doesn't, it doesn't come across as that at all. Yeah. So that's wonderful. Well, now, since being here, what do you think that you have gained, not just in terms of clients or of patients, but what have you gained that California perhaps didn't have or didn't offer you? You go back home to see family. Okay, and you've kind of separated yourself from that Persian tradition of extended family. They're not too far away. You can get there within a day's time.
Absolutely.
But have you noticed significant differences for you as a person here rather than in California?
Definitely, yes. I just love having this small community. How people, you walk into the grocery store and they know you. they may not know me by my name, but they know who I am. They know what I buy. I love eggplant, so I walk into Save Mart. That's Persian. I walk into Save Mart, and the lady said, "Oh, we have a whole new batch of eggplants. You know, you want me to get you some?" When you're in LA, they look at the receipt and they try to say your name as if, you know, to kind of give you that community, you know, small community feel, but they can't even pronounce it. And I always, you know, tell them, okay, you know, it's okay. You don't have to say my name. It's okay. Other than your family, you don't really have that community, sense of community.
Yes, yes.
But here I don't really have a big family. But I really feel that community sense, yeah.
I think that California, which is such a beautiful state, and it was a point of destination for many families all across this nation to come to perhaps go to school at, and to become a Californian. But at the same time, like the rest of the nation, California has now some very challenging economic times, as does Nevada, as does Carson City. So I really have to salute you for establishing a business and making sure that it stays healthy. As a woman entrepreneur, as a woman in business for herself, what have you learned that is so significant to other women who might be thinking about going into a business, to remember when you want to put in funds, put in time, a lot of work, what is it that you have to keep in mind at all times for a business to prosper, for a business to grow?
That it's going to be worth it. I truly believe that it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be worth it. I just feel, like I say, when I was in that small little office, I wanted to expand, go to a bigger office, have more room, so I can help my patients better, so I can go from one to another, so that they don't have to wait. You know, there were times that they were standing room only, you know, in my office. And so I'm going through all this change and starting a new office, and we're actually building it right now. It's being built as we speak. And I just keep thinking to myself, and I keep telling my staff, you know, guys, it's going to be worth it. Patients are going to be happier, and that's going to make me happier.
And I think what you're also saying, FARNAZ, is that time and patience are required.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But you begin to feel, and you begin to see, certainly, the support of your patients that you're getting. So as a child, I remember going to an optometrist for my eye checkups, etc. And he was a man, all right? He was a very nice man, Dr. Rogers. He's long since gone. But he had a way about him that was soothing. He was not abrupt or crisp or cranky. And with kids, that goes a long ways, because they're not always, doctors and doctors' offices don't always mean the best. Okay, this is yet to come. So what do you feel has been some of your natural talents in terms of personality that relates well to people?
I think just being caring. I absolutely feel that when they put their trust in my hands, when they're sitting in my room, they're sitting in my chair, they're asking me, so they're totally trusting in what I have to say to them. I'm not gonna make up some stories. I'm just gonna tell them exactly the way it is.
And what do patients bring to you in the way of fears?
They're afraid that they're going to go blind. They're afraid that you know, losing your sight is obviously is the end of your life. They're afraid that they're going to lose their driver's license, and that takes away your independence. And so I can calm them down and say, you know, I'm here to help you. I'm here to do whatever I need, whatever it needs to be done to get this thing done.
Okay, and when kids, teenagers, little ones come into you, they have certain fears too.
Absolutely, yes.
I mean, as I'm aging, I know that my eyes are changing. I know that probably I'm going to have to go through some challenges I don't like to have to face because of the aging of the eye. But kids come in with some fears as well.
Kids are scared because they think you're going to give them a shot. So they're afraid of the white coat. So I don't wear it. I take my white coat off.
Okay.
they know they think I'm gonna give him a shot, and I'm not gonna give you a shot. Trust me, honey, I'm not gonna hurt you. And we make it fun for them.
Yes.
I have little pictures I show them. There's a little video, there's a little dog barking. So look at the little dog and look at the video, and we just make it fun for them.
And I think that's part of your relational success with your patients, okay? You already sense what they're coming in with, and so you're going to eliminate that right away for them.
Right.
That's wonderful.
Right.
And I also sense, FARNAZ, that you've come from a home life that has been very encouraging and supportive of its children with what they would like to do. And there are many women listeners out here tonight, women viewers also, who have not come from those same conditions. They have come from homes where maybe financially there wasn't the wherewithal to support them through college. Maybe they were afraid of even facing college. There are women out there who are afraid because of their age now, at 60 or 65. I'm afraid to go back. I won't fit in. I won't be able to handle. I won't be able to write. What kind of advice do you have? Because I know you must have various ages of women who are your patients. And in your own way, you are a representative for females to know that if you are willing to put in the time and think this is worthwhile, it is going to make a difference.
Absolutely.
That will encourage someone out there to have those thoughts.
I'm 53, and I'm starting my practice now at this age. It would be a lot easier if I were 33, and I'm not going to stop. It's going to be fine. It's going to be worth it. I love my staff. They're wonderful. I don't want to say kids, but they are. They're young girls.
And you're training them.
And I'm training them. And in this interim, they're staying with me. And I'm having them call patients to reassure them that we're going to be okay. We're not gone. We're still here. And I'm still in the process of interviewing and adding to my staff because I know we're going to need. Excuse me. We're going to need more help. And it's gonna be worth it because when a patient comes in and they sit in my chair and they start talking about their lives, they start talking about their kids and families, and I sit there and I listen, and I enjoy it. I enjoy having other than just the eyes, not just the eyes. I'm looking at the patient behind the eyes.
Yes, that's right.
And I enjoy it. I really love what I do.
And don't you think at the same time, you're 53, I'm 69, and just starting out on many fresh ideas. And I think our willingness and other women's willingness, other people, and even men who listen to this program, don't give up on yourself. And there's a support system, and there is a guidance system, there is as you're saying, a city here full of people that are willing to back you, willing to believe in you when you are willing to help them. That's customer service.
That's true.
In the very
That's
best
true.
sense of it.
That's true.
And it's a diminishing quality in our society as a whole. And so I really thank you and applaud you for making sure that your customers, they're not customers, they're patients, but that your customer service, your doctor service, your optometrical service to them is one of nurturing.
It comes from the heart. It really does.
Yes, yes.
There are times that I walk out and I'm in tears. When somebody tells me about, when they're so worried that, they have lost their eyes to macular degeneration and whatnot. I mean, I'm not going to show it to them. But I do have tears in my eyes. And
well, we value our eyes so much, and we take them for granted for so many years in our life. So I thank you for taking the time that you do. I thank you for coming on the show, sharing your life's experiences, and we look forward to seeing you on the streets of Carson.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you join us next week with a brand new guest. In the meantime, have a good evening.